Hello everybody, welcome back to another Halo Wars video. I have another exciting build for you, and it's going to be part of a series of docks builds that I'm going to do, not all in an order, just maybe once a week I'm going to fill in this series. And what I'd like to do is once you learn, like, I'm probably going to do like 5 parts to this, okay? Something like that. But once you learn all 5 of these builds and strats, and you master them, what's going to happen is you're going to be able, no matter what situation comes your way, you're going to be able to be like, oh, that's this situation, so I do this build, like, or this strategy. So if you just really trust me, okay, like, you never want to do one build, one strategy. You want to be able to have multiple options, okay? Now I'm going to give you all those options. I'm going to show you how to do it all, okay? So don't worry, Smug's not going to leave you hanging. I'm going to show you guys all the cool little tips and tricks. Uh, I would like to say you guys are giving me some ideas for videos, but not as much as I would have wanted. You're kind of just letting me pick and choose what I want to put up, and quite frankly, I want to know what you want to see. So just, leave comments. So anyways, this build's going to be really, this is going to be a down tech canister build. And you're probably like, oh man, a down tech canny build, that's not going to work. Well, it's situational. Okay? If you use it in the situations, which I will tell you when, if you use it in the situations I'm about to tell you how, it will work. I mean, obviously, if your covey does something stupid, I can't control that. But you will hold your end of it, okay? So, yeah, alright. And if you don't like it, then you don't like it. But this is something I will do in these situations. And you know what? It works for me. So, yeah. Alright, so you have 4 supply pads on your main and 3 supply pads on your expansion. You're going to go reactor 5th on your main base and reactor 4th on your expansion. Okay? Now, I'm going to try to keep out the economical theories and get into this huge battle with all these high level Halo Wars players and everything. So I'm not even going to bother explaining in the video about that. Just the way I've done this build is the fastest way to get the quickest amount of canny tanks for the most craziest down tech build without being clicked. Okay, now you're going to put up 2 vehicle depots here, and as you'll notice, I only collected 4 crate stacks, okay? Some people say, oh, don't be unrealistic, Smug. Oh, you can't collect more than 4 crates. Well, so I only collected 4, just to show you it works, okay? And what I like to do is you want to kind of keep your base locked. I'm unlocking it now just because I want to keep it very simple for the people trying to learn and watch this so you can see the timing and everything. But I would typically keep my tanks locked up until I needed them, which, because an RB shows up, he's going to rage, he's going to do a bunch of stuff. And you don't want to get him caught. So, pump out 2 tanks here, and there's a delay on my main, purposely. I don't want to build a supply pad there, okay? If I build a supply pad there, it's not going to make the money in time, okay? And there's no point, okay? So, yeah, just trust me on this, okay? You don't want to spend the $100 and sell it, okay? I'm gonna put my 3rd tech there, so I'm gonna pump out 2 tanks, and I'm gonna put my 3rd tech there. and then, and then basically I'm going to sell my canister reactor after I launch Canny. So yeah, Sorry, I don't know why I'm not commentating properly right now. It should be pretty straightforward. I've been slowing down my my playing and everything so you guys can see what I'm doing better. So anyway, 750, you want to be getting the reactor up as quick as possible. And your money, it doesn't look good at this stage. It looks really low, but I mean, you do have 2 early tanks, okay? And what I can promise you is that if you do this build in the situations that I'm about to tell you, it will be dominant, okay? Because you'll have a lot of early canny tanks. So you're about to see how early. So I'm launching canny, and then I'm going to sell the reactor on my expo so I can get another tank, and then I'm going to put up a 3rd vehicle depot. I'm not keeping 3 vehicle depots. I'm just putting up 2 vehicle depots on my expansion so that I can basically, because when you do a down tech canister build, then you are basically gambling saying, hey, I have to finish the game. I have to win the game by killing the expansion by doing this. So if you're going to gamble, then you better have the quickest and most powerful tanks possible. So by having both vehicle depots on your expansion like this, then the tanks are going to be closer to the enemy's expansion. Okay? And even though it's not a consistent double pump, it doesn't necessarily need to be consistent. And you want to make sure that your first 3 tanks are at their expansion as soon as canister is done. So you want to be there around 5:35. I'll have 3 canister shell tanks on your base at 5:35. Okay? You want to sell this vehicle depot on your main as quick as possible for a supply pad. And I'll basically get in there, find their vehicle depot, and that's my number 1 target. Killing their vehicle depot. If they don't have a vehicle depot, okay, and their tanks are there, then go for the tanks, okay? And if they don't have any tanks or vehicle depots, just start stripping the pads, okay? It's not a big deal. He's going to start panicking. He's going to start to get canny, but he won't match you in tanks. If he didn't have enough tanks already, he's not going to match you, and he's going to be losing economy, and you'll be fine, okay? So now I'm going to just tell you, because now there's nothing really much important to say, is you got to kill that expansion. So I'm just double pumping tanks. So I'm going to use this kind of downtime to tell you exactly when you would use this kind of build. You would use this build if a forge was click expanded in the beginning of the game. And you'll know because Forge will have grabbed that expansion right away. If he's done that, then you need to attack him as early with as much power as possible. Because if Forge gets to 7 to 8 minutes on this map, you will not be able to stop him. Okay, so you don't want to be doing like a heavy supply pad build with a double fortress and, you know, doing blah blah blah, because it's not going to work. Okay, you need to attack him and crush him while you can. You do not want to gamble with a forge. So you do it against that. You also would do this kind of build if you were against another cutter and you saw that he got like an early fortress on his expansion, or he's getting a bunch of early heavy supply pads or something like that, because then you know he's not going to have as many tanks as you, and you know he's not going to be able to match your power. Now, that doesn't mean just because you see that, oh man, I'm going to do that. Well, it also depends on how your Covenant's doing, okay? Like, you wouldn't do this against a cutter, for example, if your Covenant was behind, or if there's an Arbiter and the Arbiter wasn't hurt that much, so he'll be able to rage, or you have a Chieftain on your team, you probably wouldn't want to do it. So there are some factors, but I will say that you don't want to do this every situation. But there are situations you will do it. Like if a Forge click expands, you'll do it. If there's an Anders, this build works really, really good, actually, because if you can fend off the early hogs, and then you push up with these early canny tanks, Anders will have a very hard time fending off 3 canny tanks 534. In fact, I'd be very surprised if she could. Because I doubt she'd have many gremlins by then, and yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy this build. There's going to be other parts to this to show you, to get you prepared, so you'll see every situation on docks, and you'll just be like, part 2, I'm doing this, or part 5, I'll do this, and oh man, let's go to part 1, because I know exactly what to do here. It'll make you an absolute beast in every scenario on docks, okay? That's my goal, to make you guys learn the game and know the game like I do. So I'd like to say thank you to my new subscribers. I've got almost 85 now. It's so amazing. So please leave a like, comment, rate, subscribe, and I will see you guys all next week. Well, tomorrow with an all new build or strat, I think. See you later, guys. Goodbye.